All right, welcome back to Jim's Guitar Garage. In this video, we're going to be covering dressing the fret ends and polishing them up and making this thing nice and smooth so you don't cut your fingers as you're running along here when you're playing guitar. So let's get to it. So we're pretty much going to be using two tools for this job. Actually three, because there's one more thing I want to do. One of the things I noticed when I was looking at this, and I don't know if you can pick this up on camera, so I'm going to try to tilt this at an angle, but if you look, you can kind of see that this has a very sharp edge, so I'm hoping you guys can pick that up. So there's a very sharp edge here, so what we want to try to do is give this a rolled edge so it's got kind of a broken in feel. We are going to do that using something that you guys have seen before, and it's these right here. So we're going to use this old one right here. We might even use some 600 grit sandpaper that we used when we were doing the body. And all we're going to do is we're going to take that along the side here. Number one, that's going to get rid of the rest of these sharp edges on here and on here and kind of smooth things out, but it's also going to round over this fretboard. So back to the tools. This is called, and I'm reading it off the bag here, I believe this is, I got this off from Amazon or off the internet or something. It's a small guitar fret beveling file, 4 3/4 inch. So how this thing works is it goes right along the edge here. You push it against the frets on the edge, and you're just going to run this thing back and forth. What that's going to do is put the proper bevel in, and it'll also get rid of some of that sharpness. Yeah, some of the sharpness is gone already. So we're going to work that on both sides. And then this fret tool, this is from Fret Guru. So one side is machined, so it's fairly safe. It probably won't harm your fretboard if you've got a especially if you've got a maple. But I use a side that actually says Fret Guru. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you guys can make that out. It's in the shot. So this side is really smooth. This side is where your actual filing is. So and I've showed you guys this in another video, but I'm just going to cover it in this one again. So you're basically working from about a 30 to a 45 degree angle. And what you're going to do is I would, on this one, I'm going to do every single one just because they're bad. And you're going to start at about a 25 to 35 degree angle, and you're going to pull it out and roll it to about a 45. So again, start at about a 35, roll it, and at the same time as you're rolling it, you're moving your hand this way. So you're taking that sharp edge off of that fret end. So if you can see, hopefully you guys can see, you know, that shape. So you want to roll it so you're taking that off of this edge is where that sharpness is coming from. So we're going to go over this first, make sure that's nice and good, and then we're going to do both sides. And we're just going to keep going up and down until it gets smooth, and you can actually hear it. You can kind of hear it and feel it at the same time, and you can also see all this metal shavings that are coming off. So when the metal shavings stop coming, and then you feel it get smoother, see right there, it's starting to smooth out a little bit. Yeah, down here it's still pretty bad. So we're going to bevel these, and then we're going to clean them all up. Alright, so we've gone over that with that fret beveling file. And I don't know if you can make this out, but you can see quite a bit of chips on here and stuff. So we're just going to take that. So it feels a lot better now. It's very sharp though, the edges. So we're going to brush this off. We want to get all those metal particles off. And I'm going to show you a few frets. I'm not going to torture you and make you watch the whole thing. But I showed you before. Just take it like this, bring it out. As you're pushing it, you're bringing your hand out. So you just want to keep going in that motion. Same on the other side. You just kind of roll it. And just keep doing that till it's smooth. You can just feel it with your fingertips. And when that thing is smooth, you can stop. So that one is done. So we'll do a couple here. Okay, so that one's done. All right, so we're going to go through this. Keep going. We're going to hit both sides. So we've got quite a bit of work ahead of us. So we'll do both sides, and then we'll come back and I'll show you guys how I, either run the sandpaper or run this along the edge to get that nice broken in feel on this neck. All right, one side is down. The side is nice and smooth now. Now we're going to flip it over, and we're going to work on the other side. All right, so we just completed filing these fret ends, and now they're both nice. Both sides are nice and smooth. Got just a little bit down here, but that's more the tang. So we're going to work on that next. So let's take this off of here. I'm going to put this down, and what I'm going to do is, since this already has a finish on it, put like a tongue off finish. We're going to tape over that a little bit. I'm not too worried about the side of the fretboard, because that's not, the fretboard's not finished anyway. So we'll tape this off, and then I'll show you how I clean these up and just roll that fretboard a little bit. All right, so we'll be back. Okay, fretboard's all nice and taped off right now. Sorry, the neck itself. So we've taped it up to the line of the fretboard. So there's many ways you can do this, and this is just one of them. So if you don't like this way, or if you feel unsafe or whatever, and you want to try another method, there's plenty of other methods up on YouTube. So I'm going to take this rough edge, and I'm just going to go back and forth a few times, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish it up with this 600 wet dry. We're just going to go back and forth, and what that's going to do is that's going to give us a nice broken in feel on this neck, and whatever little rough spots, actually it's really smooth, but we're just gonna roll that neck a little bit and smooth these out, and it'll play really awesome. So I've seen guys do this. They call it the flap method, where they do it with something like this, but since I've got these now, I'm just going to use it. So we're just putting it, I don't know, probably at like a 35-degree angle or something, and we're basically just taking those fret ends and we're just polishing them up and making them nice and smooth. And at the same time, I'm hoping you guys can pick this up. At the same time, if you look at this side, you see that hard edge, and I can feel it. And then you come to this side now, that hard edge is slowly disappearing, so it's going to give it a more broken in feel, and then these fret ends are going to be super smooth. So we'll go ahead and do this side now. That side is pretty much done, and then I'm going to go over it with the sandpaper. So hope you guys can see all of this. So we're just putting it at a slight angle, probably we want to keep it about the same angle, which this tool we used right here is 30-degree bevel. So we want to stick with about that same amount. We're going just a little bit more, maybe 35 degrees, just to get that fretboard, slightly rounded over. So this doesn't take a lot, and you don't need to put a lot of pressure into it. Just let the tool do the job for you. So I can already feel already that neck has been slightly rounded over. And if you've played a Mexican versus an American standard, I had a 2012 before, and I also had a Mexican one at the same time. Love both of them, but you could definitely feel the difference in the fretboard. You could definitely feel that the Fender definitely, or the American standard Fender, had the way smoother fretboard. Way more comfortable, and it's all because of that nice broken in feel. All right, so we're just going to do this side. All right, of course, it doesn't matter as much on this side because you're not going to be, your thumb is going to slide along that, so it's going to be a little more comfortable for your thumb. But so that bottom has that nice broken in feel. I'll do a little bit more. I like mine just a little bit more rounded over. And you can also see the fret ends now are nice and polished. We could even go back and use this side, but these things are really great. And I'll try and put a link below too. And I showed you in another video, but I picked these new ones up through Amazon. This one has 4 different grits. So instead of the 3 that this has, this one has 4. So it'll, for some jobs, having that 4th one will probably make it, even more shinier. Okay, so we are done with this. All we got to do is clean it up. We're going to re-oil this fretboard. We got to keep an eye on the area here that we steamed earlier and see if that thing goes back once it dries out. If it does, we're going to steam it again. We're going to steam it until it doesn't shrink down anymore. So the next thing we're going to do on this is address this headstock. All right, as always, thank you for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. I'd also appreciate it if you'd please subscribe and like the video. Make sure you leave a comment below. Thank you from Jim's Guitar Garage. Aloha.